We are live. Let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome back to another live and amplified Indie Fusion podcast. This is our Sunday sit down, although it's Saturday just because I changed up my schedule this time around.
Yeah, that's all right.
We got Jeff Cabana joining us. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man? It's still a Sunday sit down. It's just we're early.
We call it a Sunday sit down, but I don't think I've ever released an episode on Sunday.
Nah, but we do usually record them on Sundays.
Yes.
Like most of them.
Well, because the whole idea was originally I wanted it to be like a mafia sit-down type thing. Like,
right.
Like a meeting of the minds.
Right. Except there's no bowls of pasta.
Yeah, no bowls of pasta. Like the bikers gangs have church.
Yep.
Like just that sort of shit. But then it just kind of came so infrequent that I was just like, yeah, we're going to stick with the idea, but, you know.
Right, right. And we don't do them every week either.
No.
You know?
That would be cool, though, if we get to a point where we
Well, maybe we could start doing them on Zoom, I guess, if you want to do them a little more regular.
Does Zoom work well out here? You guys got strong enough internet to do Zoom out here?
Yeah. Well, I would just do it on my cell service. I have a decent cell.
Gotcha.
You know?
Because that was always the issue I had out here was my internet was never that good.
Well, I don't even connect to, like, the Wi-Fi for anything important.
Yeah.
I just use the cell service, and it's usually better.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah. There's been a few times I had to do Zoom stuff on my laptop, and I just hooked it up to my my hotspot on my phone.
That's right. Oh, yeah, because I remember when we were doing the radio show, we did a couple of recordings of the radio show through Zoom or something like that.
Yeah.
That was funny. That was a fun experience.
Remember we did it over the phone, and we just, both recorded our own versions, and then would email it,
I think you emailed it to me or something. Or
yeah.
I emailed mine to you or something.
Yeah, and then we just sync them up. And it sounded like we're in the same damn room.
Yeah,
that was kind of cool.
That's so funny.
We pulled off 4 or 5 like that.
Yeah. Well, that was a different time and a bad time.
Yeah, it was during COVID and then bad things, we had going on. We had some tragedy.
Yeah. That's coming up 4 years, I think, in July.
Yeah.
4 years, so.
Yeah, we just went by the anniversary of my father-in-law passing. So.
First year or second year?
Second.
Yeah.
Still don't get easier,
I need to go up and visit her.
Yeah.
So
where is she?
She's in Rockford. So that's where her and my mom and my dad met, was in Rockford.
Oh, okay.
She's from that area.
Yeah.
So that's technically northwest Chicago suburbs.
Yep.
But it's kind of far out to be considered the suburb. It's still considered part of the Metroplex, but it's
in the county.
Yeah. Or the greater Chicagoland area.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know. We had greater Boston, up there. Instead of county, they just called it greater Boston.
Right. And so, yeah, she's from up there, and my dad lived up there when they met. So that's kind of where all her family is. That's where she is. That's where my dad will go.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll go from there.
Well, yeah, we'll take it from there.
But yeah, I haven't been up there since we buried her 3 years ago. Yeah,
okay.
It took us a year to get her buried because we couldn't figure out what the hell we wanted to do.
Right. And wasn't it during COVID, right?
It was towards the tail end of COVID.
Okay, gotcha.
It was one of them deals where we just couldn't figure it out. We had so much, obviously dealing with the situation in general.
Yeah.
Mom had one wish, she wanted to do it, and my dad was vehemently against it because he thought it was a stupid idea.
Oh, yeah.
And my sister was like, no, I'm going to do what Mom wants.
Right.
My dad's like, no, we're going to do it this way so I can be buried with her. And it took my dad a good solid 6-9 months, and my sister was just like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I just don't want the urn in my house.
Win by stalemate.
And I mean, it was fine. It was just one of those things. It was something my mom wanted, but then when she started looking at the legit, so basically what my mom wanted, she wanted to be buried in a bio urn.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
You can grow a tree off of it.
Right.
And my dad just started doing research on it. He's like, you realize those trees tend to die within 3 years.
Oh.
If you go in and study on it a little bit, those trees don't ever really last. And plus, we don't have family land.
Right.
That we can go put it.
Right.
So
right.
It's just okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All that once he kind of started like taking a more logical approach instead of, no, this is what I want to do, this is how I'm going to do it, you know. Once he started being a little bit more logical about it, it was like, okay, you win, you're good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, how's everything been going in Roswell?
Pretty good. We're getting ready for UFO Fest soon.
Yeah, that's coming.
I know. But, you know, for the first time in a while, they're actually starting to plan things now and not like a week before. I mean, not literally, but usually, yeah, it's like so last minute everything. It's like you have it every year, like you have a whole committee for it, everything.
Yeah.
I guess it's back to Main Street Roswell again this year, and they're doing 3 stages.
Okay.
With music and whatnot. And
Are they bringing like somebody in and not overpaying some local lounge singer?
I don't know. Probably not. Well, the thing is, like, they bring people in the past and they pay them like, you know, anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000, and nobody knows who they are.
Yeah.
You know, like, and they perform and they have like a okay to medium crowd.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you do have some local acts that play down there, or somewhat local, you know, the area, and you know, you got 300-400 people out on that lawn watching them, like, and they get shafted for like $300 to play their set when they had a bigger turnout, attracted more audience, you know.
Well, and it's also one of those things. There's regional acts, like local supporting acts, like you could book, like, let's say you could book GDP.
Well, every time we've played down there, we've had 100+ people watch us. You know,
say like for like whatever the main night would be. I'm guessing Friday is probably the main night. Saturday is the night.
Second night.
So let's say like they say, okay, GDP, we're gonna put you as the opener, and you're gonna have or open for, I don't know, name punk or like hard rock band.
Well, when the city was running it, they'd do that, but they'd have it over at the stadium.
Yeah.
You know, and then nobody would go to it. It'd be like a dead show, or like they have like a battle of the bands kind of contest to open for whoever the big act is that the city brings in. But the thing is, like as the opening act, you play like 3.5 hours before the main act.
Yeah.
There's nobody there. You're out in the dead sun, just hot, empty field.
Yeah.
And then like you get off, you get all your stuff, and you don't even get to go to the show unless you pay for a ticket.
Right.
So you got to leave unless you buy a full price ticket. That's what's ridiculous.
That was part of the 4th of July, because that
right. Well, they rolled it all together when the city was running it. They were running it, rolled together with the 4th of July UFO Fest, because it's, for those of you that don't know, the 4th of July Fest, the incident was July 2nd.
Yeah.
So it falls so close to 4th of July, the city kind of rolls everything together. It's like one big like duo event, you know.
That's the smart thing to do.
Of course.
Like, I mean, I remember when I was
they should be separate entities.
But like I remember when I was living here 2013 to 17, during that weekend they had 4 fucking events going on, and very few of them had any synergy.
Right.
They were so spread out. Like you had
That's a problem.
You had the 4th of July Fest that was over by, where's the park that they used to do the flag football tournament?
Way up Nimmy.
No, not on Nimmy. It was it's
the Wool Bowl?
No, it was like a big park. Big park, like, I can't think of what the hell it's called now.
Yeah.
But the big park here in town, up on the nice side of Waco.
Well, they had started bringing everything like more centralized because the convention center, once that opened up. But now that it got flooded, there was a flood here in Roswell back in.
I drove past it and I was like, what?
Well, it was like 3.5 feet of water in the convention center when we got flooded here. Like there was people stuck on the roof of the convention all night during that flood. Yeah. It was bad. There's video of it and stuff. But I have mixed feelings about that. A lot of the people that got stuck up on the roof, it was their own goddamn fault.
Yeah.
Because they were videos when it was only ankle high, and they're in there laughing and dancing and having a good old time because it was like a quinceañera or some kind of party, like Mexican party.
Yeah.
And when the water first started coming in and it was ankle deep, when they could have got out of there and just went home, they was laughing and dancing and having a good old time, and they stayed. And then next thing you know, it's waist deep. It's flowing through like a river. It's sweeping people, and they're like, oh my god, it's a tragedy. It's like, you were dumb. You could have got out of there like an hour ago, but you were having a good old time. You know, like, sorry, but it's
floods is it sneaks up on you.
Right. They had plenty of time to get out of there, and they chose to stay, and then they ended up on the roof all night, and then they acted like victims in the morning, getting rescued by the fire department. Yeah, it's sad, and it's whatever. I'm not heartless, but come on, man.
Yeah,
you know, they could have got out of there.
Self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Right. My wife was at a baby shower when that storm started, and it was like hail, like baseball hail coming down. And I was like, you need to pack it up and get home now.
Yeah.
Because I didn't go. And she was like, yeah, I think you're right. I was like, it looks like it's getting bad. Like the water's rising. The streets are already flooded.
Yeah.
You know, I said, it's starting to get close to the house. You better get home.
It rained like that. Not quite that bad.
Right.
When I was living here, and on Garden, there's that it has like that little dip by the gas station.
Yeah, that floods out with a sprinkle.
Yeah. It had that little dip, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I need to get home, and Maine was like just nut to butt the entire
driving through a flooded out area, the key is to keep your foot on the gas. Even if you're braking, use both feet and keep your foot on the gas. As long as you're pushing air out your tailpipe, no water can go back in.
Well, and that's what I ended up.
I'm giving the listeners, in case they don't know.
So I saw that because I had pulled into a gas station because I had like 3 miles on my tank.
Yeah.
So it was like a shit situation.
Right.
And I was sitting out there, and the wind was just like.
Yeah,
and I was like, $5.
Yeah,
and I was just like, give me $5, because that was when I was living over by Cerritos.
Yeah,
and I was just like, just get me $5 and I'm going home.
Right.
And then I pull around the backside because I was like, okay, well I'm gonna go down the back roads and see if maybe I can get a little bit lucky. And then I pulled up on that, and I'm like, okay, and I just gunned it, and I just ripped right through it, and I was like, and then the guy behind me thought it was a great idea, but his car was. I was still driving the mini crossover deal.
Yeah.
And so my car had a little bit of more give on it.
Right.
This guy went in a sedan, decides, okay, well, he did it, I'm doing it. And he drove through, he stopped, and I was like...
Yep, he took his foot off the gas.
Fuck you, I'm leaving.
Yeah. Yep. Now, my boss, Richardson, right?
Yeah.
You know how some parts on the north part of Richardson where the curb is like 3 or 4 curbs high?
Yeah.
My boss, his car got picked up onto that sidewalk and thrown into a pole. And he got trapped in his car for like several hours.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was rough. That was they call it 100-year storm, and I hate those kind of terms.
It's a 100-year storm that's happened 3 times in the last
I know, and that's the thing. Like, every time they make that broad statement, it ends up being a lie. But it was a bad one. It was. I've been here 13 years, and I've seen a little bit of flooding, but nothing like that.
Yeah,
that,
and then you remember the winter storm that we got like 18 inches of snow?
Oh, yeah, it was more than that. With the drifts, it was like close to 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
it was like almost 3 feet. Goliath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was like shortly after I moved here. Like, was that 14?
15.
15?
Or 14, 15. Because let's see, I was down in Florida, so it was either 14 or 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd only been here like a year or two, because I moved here in 13, so. Yeah. And I was like, oh, man, I thought I got away from this crap. But it was melted in a week, so.
It was melted in a week, but like the issue is because it's New Mexico, they're like, oh, we're impervious to snow. It's never going to snow here.
Right.
Boom, 18 inches, 30 inches, whatever.
Yep. I remember I was driving around in a Prius helping people in their jacked up pickups get unstuck.
Right.
Because they were all like stuck everywhere in the snow. And I'm like, no, dude, this is how you do it, Well,
that's how I fucked my car up, was because I got stuck in an ice patch.
Yeah.
Like a literal ice patch.
Oh, yeah.
Because it had started melting at that point. And so I was just trying to get parked somewhere. And so I was just like, parked up on this one spot, and it was like like straight up ice patch, and I was like, I tried to get out, I slipped, and I was just like, all right, well, I'm gonna move my car somewhere where I'm not like gonna die just trying to get to the apartment. And that was the stupidest mistake I ever made. I should have just left the car there and tippy-toed my way to the freaking door.
Well, and where I grew up, we had bad snow up there in Massachusetts, and then the city of Worcester, the city of Seven Hills, we had hills that were anywhere from like 45 to 60 degree inclines.
Yeah.
So you got like good at like getting up and down stuff like that in the snow and ice, and so I'm pretty good. It's been a long time now, but I'm still really good at that.
Yeah. this past winter, I went up to Chicago and we got caught up in a little. It wasn't a crazy ice event. It wasn't crazy icy, but it was. It was raining, and then it got below freezing, and it started freezing.
Did you hear about the little snowstorm we had in April? Right before Easter, like the week before Easter, the Saturday before Easter.
Okay.
We got like a pretty good snowstorm, and it got down into like the 30s here, for like one day. It was just like out of nowhere. And it was we were already getting like 80, 90-degree days, and then bam, here's a little snowstorm for you. It was kind of nuts.
Did it accumulate to anything? Or?
Not really. Like you get it built up a little on the grass and stuff like that. But yeah, well, because the ground was already warm. Yeah. Like I said, we had like 80, 90-degree days before that.
Yeah.
And we got that random one little weird snowstorm.
Roswell's a weird town, man.
I don't know. That feels like engineered to me, like geo-engineered. You know?
Right. It's
like all right.
It's one of those, because that happened to me. When the first month I moved here, it was like October, and it had been 70, 80 degrees for like the entire time I had been here.
Well, this area is known to get them like weird October surprises, you know?
It was like October, November. It'd been 70, 80 degrees the entire time I'd been here, because I'd only been here for like a month and a half at that point.
Yeah.
And then one day it just started, not blizzarding, but like snowing really good, and I'm like, the fuck is going on here? And
it's like I thought I moved to the desert.
And then the next day you wake up and it's like back to 70, 80
right.
I'm like,
like it never happened.
Did I just dream something? Like, it was bizarre, man.
Yeah, we do get some weird weather here. So, you know,
it is. So how's everything with GDP? We just got done with going checking you guys out.
Yeah. Tom came by. We had a quick band. We actually were getting together to do this podcast. And then I got a message from my band, like to bump up, because I was gonna go practice after.
Let's go, bitch.
Yeah, I was gonna go practice after the podcast, and my bass player and guitarist had something set up they were going to do, so we just ran up there and did a quick 1 hour practice. Yeah. Ran through some of the new stuff.
It was good. Very good.
Thank you. So, we've been working really hard on our songwriting and like building and structuring, and like you could see it like the way we've matured as a band.
The funny thing is like as a spectator sitting in how you guys currently have it set up, there's honestly no good place to sit.
No, there ain't. Like probably my seat's the best seat because the drums are the least loudest to the drummer.
Well, because even so they told me it was like, okay, you can either sit here at the chair I was in, over on the couch,
right?
And I start looking around, and I'm like, no matter what chair I sit in, I'm looking at somebody's ass.
Kinda, because you're sitting down and they're all standing. Yeah.
And it's just like. Try not to be weird, but it's.
Well, at least look at Jocelyn's ass. She's a girl. Well, I've been told Will has a nice butt. I don't know. I never looked, but
sounds like somebody has looked.
Well, I've heard that from like his wife.
Nice recovery.
Yeah, see, I'm good at that.
No, you guys sounded good. It's
Thank you.
It's definitely come a long way from because as a spectator that has been there from the early instrumentations.
When we only had like 3 of our own songs.
Well, no, not even before then when it was just you, Carlos, and Jocelyn.
Oh, just jamming. Yeah, we wrote a few instrumentals, but that was about it.
Just kind of like from that point, because that was like right around the time I left.
Right.
You guys were starting to play, and I think somebody else was coming into the mix at that point.
I think we brought in Brady. Before.
I wasn't going to say his name.
Oh, no, it's cool now. Yeah. I think we brought in Brady, and then we brought in Will. Now Brady's gone, and it's funny, Will, lifelong singer, he plays guitar and sings now.
I have it on, I'm almost positive I have it on record that he said he'd never play guitar.
Probably. I bet he said that once upon a time. Like an old interview or something.
Or that he couldn't play guitar because the texture of the strings is.
Yeah.
I just remember the texture of the strings was the reason why he never played
We'll have to dig up that.
It's actually on YouTube.
We'll have to dig that up and play it for him. Be like, see?
So
never say never.
Actually.
He's doing a great job. Like I told you, he's playing baritone guitar.
Yeah.
And then now you heard the new setup with the bass, like the super sub. So now, like with the guitars doing the highs and the bass with the real lows, he sits right in that middle space and like the whole spectrum's covered.
Yeah. Be careful, you guys are gonna start demoing some of these ratty ass houses around here.
I know, dude. crazy. That new pedal was amazing. If you guys don't know, and they don't sponsor us or anything like that, but Walrus Audio, we've been buying some of the analog pedals. It's more of a boutique company, but man, their stuff is so good.
Right.
Like, we bought this bass pedal and it changed everything. The whole like texture,
the dynamic of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fills the entire room with sub now. Nice. Plus, you can still hear the notes, so it's not pure sub. It's got that both, you know.
So when's your guys' next show? Or are you guys done for a little bit?
Well, we just haven't like booked anything, honestly. Yeah. We're definitely playing LibFest, which will be like second week of August.
Okay.
I believe it's going to be a 2-day event this year. He said he wanted to do, kind of split up because you know, a lot of styles of music, and we got a lot of, you know, singer songwriters and like chiller acts, and then like the second day will be the you know, all the heavier like hard metal and rock.
Like a Saturday Sunday deal.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, or a Friday Saturday. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at a calendar because I haven't looked that far ahead. I know we're playing on the 16th.
Oh, so he has dates. It's just a matter of what dates they are.
Right. I just don't know. Like, let's see.
You know, it's just one of them things where.
Oh, so that'd be a Friday night if we're on the 16th. So. Maybe it's Friday, Saturday, and we're playing first night. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't care. Either night's good to me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even have to headline. Last year, we went on before Jet at like 4 in the afternoon. Yeah. It was fucking great.
Actually, we were talking earlier about the 10-year coming up.
Yeah.
That's one name. Like, if we could pull in, like, hey,
dude, it'd
Jet,
be great to get him down for that.
Mean, if you think about, like,
do an acoustic set.
When we want to do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he's still got family here, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So if
he'll probably be around.
Yeah. It's like. Right up, it's like a couple weeks before Christmas.
Yep.
Hey, Jet, you want to...
Yeah, it'd be great because he's a really good narrator, too. Like, he's really good at talking about, like, his songs and about stuff like that. So that's actually a really good idea. And, Jet, if you're listening to this, we are interested in getting you on there, man.
Yeah. I mean, we're also interested in coming out to Chattanooga, but that's a different conversation.
Right, yeah, that'd be down the road. But if you're going to be in this area in December, let's talk.
Yeah. Let's definitely get that one. Because I think... Honestly, the only time we've had a couple of different situations where we tried to work with him, like when we went up to Nashville in 20.
Yeah.
We were supposed to work with him, but then I think he was sick or something came up.
Yeah, he just has times.
Yeah.
Out, you know.
But we did a podcast with him back when Gleewood was promoting maybe their debut album or their second. I believe it was the second one. So yeah, that's really the only time that we've had him on.
Yeah.
So
it was a pleasure last year, like I said, opening for him basically. We went on before him, and even though he wasn't the final act, he was kind of like the biggest act.
Yeah.
You know, Jet always draws the biggest crowd in Roswell.
Yeah.
And he had like the best turnout out of everyone during that day. And the fact that we went on just before him gave us a lot of crossover. So
and I think
it was a good show.
I think there's a way, like, because let's just air it out and talk about it, right? For that, we were talking about a 3-hour show, which I think 3 hours is about the max that we'd want to do.
3 hours is that's about the limit. I mean, the fact that, we have a new artist up every 25 or so minutes, 25, 30, that keeps it fresh and new, too. It's not 3 hours of the same thing.
Yeah. And, I feel like for that, it's about 7 artists, and I was thinking, 2 local, 2 regional.
Right.
I want to say 3. Hey, Tom called in some favors and got some people to come play.
Yeah, a couple locals, maybe a regional or 2, and then we'll see. We just got to get the venue first, and then once we have the venue locked down, we start booking the artists, and we have a date.
Josh, I'm going to talk to you.
Yep, if you're listening,
this is what
Josh,
I want to talk about.
we want to do something nice.
This is what that post about was this morning. I know Josh listens every once in a while.
Yeah,
I don't know
he does listen to the occasional episode.
So if you're listening, Josh,
we'd love to do our Outlaw podcast at the Liberty and make it like a no fee Friday or a steak night or you know what I mean, something like that.
Yeah.
Like work with you.
The winery, the Liberty would be the sickest,
Liberty would be the best.
But winery,
I think we'd have a great turnout. I think it would do well at the Liberty too, because certain kinds of non-music events do really well there. Like stuff that has more audience participation, things with a lot more give and take do really well there.
Yeah.
So I think the Outlaw podcast, and it's something different.
Something that I've always wanted to do, or that I've really been thinking about doing, with the Outlaw podcast is having a moment where we try and pull somebody up on stage that says they're a singer.
Yeah,
like,
that's a tough one.
It's a tough one to pull off, but if we could figure out a way to make it work.
Right, or have a newbie come out. And,
yeah.
You
just
know,
like
their first time performing kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something down the road I wouldn't mind doing. Start every show, maybe not start it so that the first one up, but do like 1 or 2 like seasons and then have like a newbie come up. Like, and
just
you know, to encourage it, and it helps that newbie network by meeting the seasons.
Come bring them in, play a song, and be like,
right?
Because you know, especially when they're first starting, if they're good, maybe they have a song or two. And
right. Try to minimize covers, but you know, they're gonna happen.
Yeah, for sure. Especially once. Right now, since we're on a big Texas scene kick, there's going to be so many like obscure Texas-centric cover songs. Right. That are just like, okay, like I'm okay at catching covers. You're okay at catching covers, but
especially the country and Americana genre. I don't know everything. You know, it's not like the rock genre. Or, you know. Things like that, or hip hop, even
like I've started seeing some people that are doing covers of like more modern stuff,
right?
And I think it's theirs, and they're like, "Oh no, this is a such and such cover," and I'm like,
"Well, like that girl, and I forget her name at the last one, and she did a couple of covers of like her dad's songs, and her dad wasn't like giant or famous, but he had songs, you know, that's cool."
And actually, she played some, or she tried to play some of those songs for me. Because I was talking to her on the phone like a week or so after. Yeah. And she was like, here are those songs that I wanted you to listen, or of my dad, because she had like, I don't know if they were like scratch tracks or what.
Right.
It didn't sound the best because it was just, she was playing it through like a speaker system and on the phone.
So it was like fifth person.
Yeah. It was just kind of getting, everything was kind of getting reverbed out and all that stuff. And I was just like, oh, yeah.
That's the worst way to listen to a song.
Yeah.
Just send me it.
It works, though.
Right.
So
I mean, you can hear it.
Yeah. So it was cool.
I get it.
But, no, like, doing it here in Rock, like, it only makes sense.
Well, this is where it started.
Yeah.
You know, so it does make sense to do the anniversary here.
And I know we had talked about Daxton. If you're listening, I know you stalk our Instagram page every once in a while. So, if you're listening, I know you got a solo project.
Yeah, let's do it.
But I'm kind of curious. Does that mean Kira is kind of?
I don't know.
They're
still doing shows.
Would have sworn they just released a song. Too.
When I swear they had a show like either coming up or just did one.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen? Did I send you the screenshot of Bleak?
Yeah.
It happened again today. Like more music from whatever that dude is. Is just starting to pop up on their page, and I was just like. Yo, Thad, you might need to get on.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know if Bleak is still, like, to get... Because I know Thad's doing his thing.
I think so.
I know Thad's kind of doing his photography thing
right
now. But can't imagine that they're at least not still playing together every once in a while, so...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they still get together.
Yeah, because they're out here, right? Or are they technically out in Texas?
I believe Texas.
Okay. Because I saw Lee County on their page, and I was like, okay,
that's where they started.
Yeah.
I think they all moved out to Texas now.
That's fair. Oh, yeah, they're out in, like, Lubbock or something.
Yeah. Like
Lubbock.
West Texas, so it's basically New Mexico light.
Pretty much. Don't tell them that. They'll get pissed.
I know, right?
Sorry, we got Independence Day playing over here. And
oh, is that what it is?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Sorry, the AMC is playing the whole End of the World movie marathon, so it's all like the disaster movies and shit. So
yeah.
It's interesting, so... But no, I'm really glad that we've got up to the 10-year. I know a lot of people said we would never make it, and
a lot of people can go fuck themselves.
There's a couple years where I didn't think we'd make it either. Like those early after I left New Mexico, those 2 years that I was in Tallahassee.
It was rough.
That was probably the roughest period.
Yeah, the only time I saw you was like January.
Yeah, there was
Baygrass.
The 2 times you came out in January, and then I came out here once.
Right.
And that was
that's like a 2 fucking day trip, you know? It was just...
like a road trip from hell.
Yeah, that was a long drive, dude.
We were both in different financial situations.
That too. That too.
I think at that time...
I wasn't even working. I was going to school.
First trip you made out, you weren't working.
Right.
Second trip... were you over at? I think you may have. You were over at this the burger place, Todd's.
No, I don't think so. I don't think I was there until the 3rd and 4th year.
No. I'm talking about the 2nd year that I was in Tallahassee.
No, I think I was still in school then.
Sure.
No, I'm not sure. Kind of tired. I had a long day at work, so I'm like,
I vaguely remember you saying that you had to work your schedule, and it wasn't going to be an issue because at that time the burger place is usually slow.
Right. I don't remember. I think it was more 3rd and 4th year I was working there, but
3rd and 4th year of Live and Amplified.
Yeah. No, 3rd and 4th year of Baygrass. Sorry. So I mean, a little further on.
Tomato.
Because the last year we went was 2020. How many years did we go? 5?
No,
4.
We went 17, 18, 19, 20.
Okay.
Yeah, because 2016 was technically our first full year.
Right.
And we didn't go to Baygrass in 2016.
That's right. No, we did that Unity Fest or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was in 2016. That was...
Yeah.
Talk about a shit show.
Yeah, that was rough.
I couldn't believe some of the names he had there, though. Like, I mean, I didn't really know who any of them were, but it was just
there was big names in that scene.
Yeah.
You know, the acoustic, like, DIY reggae scene.
The peace, love, and prosperity.
Yeah. The white boys with dreads.
Yeah.
He had, like, Mike Love and people like that and stuff, and it was a cool time. I had a good time.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was...
I got to see a woman, like, sunbathing nude, like, pretty openly, okay, just all of it, huh?
I just remember the first time we got on camp or on site, and we were walking down to where they were camping because we were like, okay, we're gonna sleep in tents.
Yeah, right.
And we walked down the thing, and the hill down was like this stupid steep incline.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I ain't fucking coming down here.
That's where I saw the woman sunbathing. Remember they had the showers right there? She come out of the shower just nude as day.
That's where I was getting because when you said sunbathing, I didn't catch that one. But
she was just drying.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, out in the sun.
When you say sunbathing, to me it's like she's laying out in the grass, buck ass naked.
No. She was just standing, like, literally arms like up in the air, wide open, and like legs spread as far as she could go, like standing. Yeah, just like and you could see everything. Yep. It was cool.
It was an interesting.
I didn't complain.
No, I don't. And then you had the one girl that was walking around topless the entire time.
Yeah.
Might have been the same girl. I don't quite remember.
Possibly. There was a few people that were open about being nude at that, and I was totally open about it too. Yeah. Not me, but them.
I was like Jeff's walking around.
Sorry, I'm getting a little too.
Jeff's walking around pantless the entire time.
I'm a married man. I don't do that.
I didn't say no. You were at that time.
I'm allowed to look. I was.
All looky, no.
I'm going on my 10th year wedding anniversary as well as Live and Amplified.
That's fucking wild.
Right?
It's crazy to think, had we started Live and Amplified a year or two earlier, you probably wouldn't be married to Lynette because she would have probably left you.
Nah.
With some of the stupid...
When we started dating, I was already doing, like, music and all that, running a studio and shit like that, so...
But were you traveling as much as we did those first 2 years?
Yeah. When we first week we met, I went out of town for like a week.
Okay.
Like we met, went out on a couple dates, and then I was like, oh, I'm leaving town for like a week, and she's like, really? I'm like, yeah, be back. And then I came back, but I mean, then me and her did a lot of traveling in the beginning. Yeah, when we first started dating, we drove cross country like 3-4 times.
Oh yeah, that's right. You took her to Boston or something, right?
Yeah, and then we went to Indiana a couple times and shit like that. So.
Oh, fucking Indiana.
Yeah, we did. We used to do a lot of traveling, me and her. Yeah. And actually, we're talking about making the trip down to Florida together, like next time. Just me, her, and Clementine, though, not bringing everyone. Uh-huh. Possibly our mom, if her mom's still around. Yeah. But the next time we go down that way, probably do a family trip. Cause,
I mean, we did get invited to Baygrass. But
yeah.
I'm kind of waiting for Robbie to release the schedule, and because if it's going to be a lot of the same people,
and it's no offense, they're all great people. I love hanging out with them, but we've already worked with them.
Like since the pandemic, it's been like the same 6 bands.
Yeah, no, I know, and we've worked with most of them already. Yeah, but like I said, they're good bands. I really like them, but there's only so much. Yeah, so. It's hard for us to continuously work with the same bands over and over. It's oversaturation.
I mean, it's it's fine, but at some point you're gonna have to like.
Yeah.
It's not worth taking a 15, 20-hour trip.
Right.
To work with the same 6 bands.
Shit, longer than that. From here, it's like 30.
From here, yeah.
From here, it's like 30 hours, 32 hours down to the Keys.
Yeah.
Because the length of Florida is like almost the same as like, if you took Florida and you flipped it sideways, it's almost the same as driving across Texas east to west or west to east.
Well, if you go the way we do, like if coming up through the through the panhandle.
Well, you don't have a choice, but yeah.
No,
I know. You could go up and over.
Yeah, you can go up and
Georgia.
Over. But if you go from Panama City in the western part of the panhandle, take 10 to 70 or whatever. Whatever, 75 or whatever it is, and take that all the way down to the Keys. That's as long. That's fucking. Let's see. It was 5 from Tallahassee.
Yeah.
To my parents' place is 3 from Tallahassee to Panama City, and then from my parents' place, I think it was another 3 to Isla Mirada. So that's 3.
No,
5, 8.
3 to just fucking Miami from your parents.
2 to Miami. 2 to Miami. I think another, or maybe it was 4 hours.
It's at least 10 hours.
4 or 5, so that's 9, 12. You're looking at like 12, 13 hours.
Yeah, in Texas is like 14.
Yeah. So
to drive all the way.
Depending on what part of the state you're driving
through. Right.
Like if you're driving straight through on 10, it's not quite as bad. But
right.
If you're going like.
But it's a long ass drive. At least Florida's prettier than Texas, though. I mean, like, scenic wise, it's nicer drive.
Oh, yeah.
Texas is kind of like a lot of wide open nothingness and deadness.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. It's just different climates.
Yeah. And they have a lot of like more natural growth there.
Right.
So. But yeah. So we'll kind of figure that one out when it comes time, and
yeah,
it is what it is.
If you guys, any listeners have any suggestions, you want to get on or into any of the things we're talking about, let us know. Message us.
Trying to wrap this up already?
Well, soon. I am getting tired though.
Fair.
It's a work day.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Pete.
Well, that's the downside. Is like.
Well, and this was kind of an impromptu trip anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess it kind of was because I was sitting there. I was just like, had I gotten Jess when she was in Texas, it would have probably been all right. But she was playing further south, and I really don't know a whole lot of places down south that would let me.
Oh yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
Plus, the only day that she had free that I had free was like the day before Easter.
Oh.
And she was traveling from Houston to like Bernie, which is it's not a terrible trip, but it's
no, it would have been a hell of a day trip though.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I mean, what did I think I sent you the event like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Something like that.
Yeah, I was just scrolling Facebook and was like, hey, I know that girl. We worked with her.
Yeah.
And I originally I thought it was just somebody you had on the podcast, but then you reminded me we worked with her in Nashville when we went out there for that. And I was like, oh, okay. And so, yeah, Tom came out to Roswell so we could go see Jess Jacoy live. She played at Pecos Flavor Winery. Which is
still fucking dreaming about this.
I know, man. Amazing food, you guys. If you've never been there and you're in this area, check out Pecos. It's owned by the same guy as the Liberty.
Yep.
And it's just absolutely amazing. I got the pasta primavera with some shrimp on it, and I'll tell you, the white gravy was just right. They nailed it.
I was almost okay. So there was 2. I was really half tempted to get that.
Yeah.
I was going to put chicken on it, and from the sounds of it, I wasn't going to be able to get my chicken because when I ordered the chicken, garlic, rosemary, whatever, and then
they were out.
They were out of the chicken. So I was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big fan of tomatoes.
Oh, I love the little sliced tomatoes, and that's what makes it primavera. That spinach and the tomatoes. It
was just like, oh man, I'm gonna be a jackass if I don't eat the tomatoes.
Nah, come on, dude. It's not your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna come over and slap your hand and eat your veggies.
And then it give me my.
Although that one girl with the little scarf on, she'd come over and slap my hand and make me eat my veggies. She had some pretty eyes.
That's funny.
I don't even know her name, but she had very pretty eyes.
Fuck, she told me what it was because I had asked her.
She told me too. I'm just bad with names.
Yeah.
Well,
no, it was one of those deals where it was coming up to the end of the show, and you could tell she was trying to close out.
Right.
And she was like, do you need anything else? I was like, no, I'll just go ahead and pay for that beer because I got that beer afterwards.
Yeah.
And she's like, I got it right here. I'm like, oh, you want me to close out, don't you?
Yeah. She wanted to go home.
Yeah.
That's cool. I get it.
Because I think they close at 8 maybe, or 9, or...
I think 9, like shortly after. But some people probably leave early. You know, they stage, when they go out.
And, it's just one of them deals where it's like, honestly, for that place, 8, 9 works. I mean, I could see a point where they could probably stay open till 10.
Right. It's a lunch dinner place, so...
Yeah. But it's one of those deals where it's like, it's not where you're going to go to get blackout drunk.
Right. I mean, they have a full bar. They have beer, but it's more of a winery. The wine there is amazing, and I'm not even a wine person. They have a great selection, great, like, local New Mexico wines, Arizona wines, stuff like that. Amazing food.
Beer is pretty good. So
yeah. And well priced, because I consider their food fine cuisine.
Yeah.
Because it's well thought out recipes, well made, like good ingredients, and it's fairly priced.
Right. This is the first time that I've been to Roswell since I left, where other than what we had for dinner, I've eaten like actual food and not just
instead of just like junk,
fast food.
Right. I know it's nice to just go get a real meal together instead of just fucking drive through. We do so much traveling together, we're always hitting drive-throughs and fast food and gas station shit.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, fuck, man.
It was nice to sit down and have a real meal.
Yeah.
That's why when my wife and I went to Albuquerque recently, right before we checked out of the hotel, we getting ready to leave town, and she's like, stop somewhere and get something to eat. I'm like, yeah, let's get real breakfast. So we went to like a Route 66 diner and got like a real breakfast, diner style.
Yeah. Oh, I fucking love. There's this place in going into College Station that it's linked up to like a hotel or something.
Yeah.
But it's like Patty's Diner or something like.
Oh, nice.
Old school, and I'm like, I bet they got the best, greasiest fucking food for a hangover.
Oh yeah, I wanted like the home fries, dude. The potatoes. I love fried potatoes in the morning. I didn't even drink the night before, but I was just craving breakfast.
Home fries are good. I prefer shredded hash browns.
Yeah, I prefer home fries over the head, like
Shredded hash browns are my kick.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of mix everything together.
Right.
Whereas, like, if you get home fries, like, I can eat home fries. I don't have a problem with them. Don't get me wrong. But for me, like, the shredded hash browns, if I want to, like, mix my eggs and whatever meat product that I have and just kind of put it all in one.
Yeah.
It works,
And those of you not from New Mexico, they give you like a sweet and spicy green chili sauce to dip your home fries in. It's so good.
I was hoping to go to Cerritos this morning, but then I was like, no, I'm going to go to Burritos.
I figured you want Cowboy. Cowboy Cafe is probably best breakfast in town, honestly.
Yeah. I just wanted something quick.
Right.
I didn't want
right. That's a whole sit down, and
I didn't want a big ass meal.
Yeah.
Like had you not had to work this morning, I'd have probably been like, hey, let's go to Cowboy.
Right.
But,
I was actually telling my coworker that. I was like, if I didn't work today, me and him would have went to Cowboy. He's like, damn, I miss them. I was like, right? I haven't been there in a while. Honestly, I think the last time I went was with you.
Yeah. Well, it's one of them things where it's just like every time we come here, we've always got a day. And today, like, it's even worse because all we had was like
half a day because I had to work and then I had band practice. So,
which the band practice is fine. Like, that's not a big deal. But
I can't get the day off. We're shorthanded. There was only 5 men on our crew, and right now it's 4 because we had a guy quit. And when we're a guy short, it's impossible to take days off. I mean, unless I'm like sick or dying, I really can't. And I'm the assistant manager, so it looks bad if
does it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could take days off. It's no problem, but I really need to give like 3 to 4 weeks notice. And this time it was kind of shorthanded. So, plus I was just going to a show, not playing one. And I'm like, fuck it.
Whatever.
Like,
it's one of those things where we're going to find the path. And, like, even like, looking into next year, like, we've got our goals for this year. Like,
right.
I think I found a happy medium with the podcast where it's not too much, not too little.
Right. I remember you used to like kill yourself. You'd do like fucking 150 of them in a week, or not literally, but you know what I mean.
There was a stretch over the last year where we were doing them daily. Like we ran through 2 stretches in the last year where we did 120 plus in a row.
Yeah.
Like every single day. So.
No, that's a hell of a stretch, dude.
Yeah. And that was twice.
Right.
And so now it's just kind of like. we're doing 3 a week, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'm not killing myself to do it. It's like, actually, it's kind of having the adverse effect where it's like, oh shit, I don't have anybody booked. I got to get a podcast booked. You know,
right.
Like I'm kind of falling behind on the booking aspect of it, which is fine. Like, it's not a huge issue, but
it wouldn't take much to catch back up.
Yeah, but you know, I'm kind of after our show, the Musical Outlaw on June 1st. I've got CMA Fest.
Yeah,
haven't got my media credentials, but I'm supposed to go up to Nashville like that Thursday after.
Right.
Like I'm supposed to be in Nashville, and like I'll get enough off of that I could probably take a good like 6-7 weeks off.
Right.
And not have to like stress about getting podcasts out.
Yeah.
Or at least recording them, which that'll be nice, and it'll kind of give us an opportunity to like really like cement down the rest of the year without having to be like, oh shit, I got other stuff that's got to get produced.
Right. Right.
So, but that, and then next year, like we'll definitely keep the Musical Outlaw podcast going.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of a matter of how frequently we want to do it. Like if we can get in good with Josh, and maybe it's not the Liberty every time.
Right. Not every time, but like maybe 2 a year there would be great, you know.
Or he goes, yeah, we'll do this one. Like,
see how it goes.
Hypothetically, Josh, I'm not putting words in your mouth, just hypothetically speaking, if the dream of dreams comes true, it's like, yeah, we'll do this one at the Liberty, but then if you want to do more, we can do them over at the winery. Like,
right.
I mean, it's made for the winery in a lot of regards.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know.
Well, and they, like I said, even with the Liberty, just they could set up more tables and it'd be more of a dinner show.
Yeah.
You know, I think it will work.
The issue with New Mexico in general, and like this part of New Mexico, is there's just not that strong of a singer-songwriter scene. Like, after a few...
Well, there is, but the problem is New Mexico's spread out, and so are the singer-songwriters. Like, it's not condensed into, like, you probably get, more in, like, Santa Fe and Albuquerque than you do here, but it's, like, very spread out, so it's hard to get, like, a solid group.
Yeah.
You know?
It's one of those things where it's just kind of like, you'd run out, like, after a couple episodes.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, okay,
or you got to really do some searching.
Yeah, or we'd have to call some friends that are in, like, West Texas.
Yeah, start hitting people on tour and getting them, to come
hey,
by.
You want to come into Roswell?
Right. Well, and then it just becomes an issue where you hit this, like, there is, like, a certain limit within the bubble where they're not going to drive down here for that.
Yeah.
Like, unless they're already booked for a paying show on top of it. Which I get, because it's an expense to drive,
That's a whole different conversation to have. I'd love to get it to a point where we could actually throw them a little something.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, if we were making enough per episode, then we could at least cover their gas for them or something,
I mean, I've got the number in mind that we need to be at.
Right.
But the number in mind is, like, we'd have to be selling out Liberty at like $10 a ticket,
right?
And doing a 50-50 cut with Josh,
right?
Like that, like
yeah. So. Well, usually if you book a show there and you run the entire thing yourself, you got to pay the sound guy, out of your end. But he usually does like a 80-20 split. Okay. He keeps the bar though.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah,
it's a 80-20 on the door, and that's a good split.
Yeah,
like I said, you pay the sound guy out of our end, and I think that's like $100, $150 for the night. And then you work it from there.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's ways to do it. Right now, everything that we're doing is kind of like restaurants, so you can't go be like,
right.
It's a $5 charge to come eat.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And that's fine, but that's just, we're starting it up.
Yeah.
Like when we did our record release there, that's what we did with him. It was an 80-20. He kept the bar. We got 80 at the door. Yeah. We paid Ben, the sound guy. Yeah. We paid the door person. And, we tipped out the bar and everything.
Yeah.
So
nice.
And we still had money left over. We were generous with it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
We made a killing in merch that night too.
Oh, yeah. That if we did get a show here, that's the one thing we'd have to be like, okay, we got to find a couple grand or $1,000 and just kind of invest in some good merch.
It's kind of funny as when we opened for Tantric, I kind of had a buzz on, so I was telling Josh, I'm like, dude, we did a killing in merch tonight. He said, careful, I'll have to take my cut. Because, venues get a cut of the merch on a lot of the big tours. That's how it works,
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, we did so good that he almost wants a cut of it. That's how good we did.
Right.
We almost, we made more than we did playing it.
Yeah. I don't think he'd actually want to come.
No, because we're a local and he likes us. We always sell tickets. We draw.
Yeah.
The people that buy tickets from us come there. They buy drinks. They buy food. They spend money in the establishment. And that's what they like, you know. Yeah. I've been discussing that for how many years? Like, you know.
I mean, that's kind of the magic. That's what I tell everybody. Right. It's like, you realize the key to get invited back is to be able to not move your own merchandise.
Right.
Because the venue doesn't give a shit.
Right. Then, I mean, unless you have some kind of merch deal with them. But, yeah, no, they want you, like, bringing in people that are spending money in their establishment.
And I think that's kind of why Gracie's is bringing us back, because other than a couple of down moments.
Oh, yeah, the place was packed from beginning to end. Yeah. You know?
Like, there was a couple of times where a big table would get up and leave, but
it only take like 2-3 minutes. It was full again.
Yeah. And so it was just like.
Well, that's why, at the end of the night, they gave us, our lunch for free. Yeah. And I tipped that waitress basically what we would have paid for the lunch. Yeah. She's like, I don't know if you noticed, but I had a good day. I was like, even better.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a generous tipper. Yeah. Because I make tips. So
we're going to do that again and make sure we treat them right.
Oh, absolutely. Everywhere honestly, I go.
That's kind of the thought process, because we were talking about if we would book a third time there this year.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, if they ask, I'll probably just tell them, like, hey, let's do this.
Right.
And if we do it on Small Business Saturday, Saturday after, in that place where they're in a small business district, all you got to do is find some, like, couple of outgoing women or outgoing people in general, be like, hey, tell people at noon, come to Gracie's and have lunch.
Yep.
Hand them this flyer.
Right.
And
we just go hang out by the church when it lets out and hand out flyers, you know.
Not on a Saturday, but.
Well, no, not on Saturday, but when we did it on Sunday, it would have worked.
Oh, yeah. So.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing, so.
Yep.
But anyways, so I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up.
What do we have,
about an hour?
About 50-something minutes.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah, I need a cigarette. I am so tired.
I got you. We'll break this stuff down. Yeah. And I'll probably just end up taking you home, or if you want to hang out for a bit.
We'll stop out there and have a cigarette and then probably go home, because I'm beat, dude. My eyes are already like.
I got you. Awesome.
Sorry, man.
Once again, thank you all so much for tuning in.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys listening to us ramble.
Honestly, I don't think.
That's one of my favorite podcasts, just because we can go off track. We don't have to stay like on message and on.
Yeah, on brand and all that
stuff. Right, right.
If we hadn't been drinking, we would have gone fully unhinged.
These are the most laid back ones, so I don't mind.
But once again, thank you all so much.
Yeah, guys.
If you want to check us out live and amplified on all the socials, feel free to give us a like, follow, all that. So.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys.
See you later.